After 45 years, the Kings can wear their crown. Score!
The Los Angeles Kings are indeed the kings of the National Hockey League.
Stanley Cup moments, presented by McDonald's.
Best team in the league, President's Trophy winner. Maybe didn't see us coming.
There's so many steps into becoming a champion, and that was our first test to put a team away.
The Canucks came out and had a couple of really good chances to win the game.
Vancouver trying to stay alive. Send it back to Staples Tuesday night.
We were starting to get some pushback from Vancouver in the series at that point in time. They got Daniel back in the lineup, which gave them a little bit more depth.
You don't want them to force Game 6 and get momentum, because momentum has a lot to do with a playoff run.
Game 5 in Vancouver, as it turns out, goes into overtime.
As the game rolled along, I just got this feeling that the Kings aren't holding on here. They're going after it.
Dan Hamhuis, the defenseman for the Vancouver Canucks, has the puck, and he's going to try and carry it out of his zone.
Hamhuis picks it up. Hamhuis races out to center ice.
And he's being chased all the way from deep in his own zone out to center ice by Trevor Lewis. And Lewis just isn't going to quit on the play.
Trevor Lewis just did a great job on the forecheck and on the back check, chasing down their defenseman.
Trevor Lewis, nonstop, tenacious, on it.
The thing I remember about Jared Stoll's goal is Trevor Lewis. The fundamental he exercised there has been drilled home to him since he turned pro, and it's a small thing, the way he got under that guy's stick, and it led to the goal.
Up to center ice. Hamhuis gets knocked down.
I'm thinking, I'm going to hear the whistle blow. They're going to call a penalty.
I was sitting on the bench, so it was a good view for everything that happened. And I don't really remember play. I just remember Louis kind of forced a turnover in the neutral zone, and Stoli had a 2-on-1.
Saw him go down, the puck was loose, and I think Stoli had a full head of steam when he came into it.
Picked up by the Kings, Stoll to the net.
I knew it was a 2-on-1 right away because it was a quick turnover, and I had Kinger on my right side.
I even forgot that he had King with him, that it was a 2-on-1. I was just concentrating on Stoll.
So Stoli picked up the puck, and I didn't have a very good view on it. And when is he going to pass? He's going to shoot it.
I can remember having just a still shot and thinking, all right, this is it. Stoli's got a fantastic shot. You figure he was going to go high with it somewhere.
Picked up by the Kings, 2-on-1. Stoll.
Schneider was playing well, and it's kind of like, come on, Stoli.
And the rest is history.
Hamhuis races out to center ice. Had it knocked off his stick by Lewis. Picked up by the Kings, Stoll to the net. Shoots, scores! Jared Stoll wins the series for the Kings.
I was shooting all the way, I think, on that one.
And our suite, just everyone jumped in the suite.
I just remember hopping off the bench and catching Quickie, giving him a hug, and then jumping in the dog pile to get Stoli. And it was something else.
And you can meet me in St. Louis.
I said, everybody, you can meet me in St. Louis.
Jared Stoll, he shoots, he scored.
Stoll shoots, he scores!
Stoli's shot, right? He's got that snapshot. We've seen it in the shootout 1,000 times. We're always on him a little bit. We got to shoot it more in game situations because it's such a great shot.
Stoll gets the game-winning goal in overtime. The Kings win it 2-1.
My favorite story coming out of that whole thing is Daryl's comments after the game. We've been waiting for Stoli to do that for 4 months, so that's something we still say to Stoli today.
He picked his spot, and that's a shot that we've seen him make for the last few years up high there and beating the goaltender. And it was just a great feeling, and right from there was a statement that was made that the Kings were on their way.
It was a great moment, but you looked at it as, okay, we just grew. You just put a team away.
The Kings have eliminated the #1 team in the regular season. This could be the start of something.
You knew when we got that under our belt that this team suddenly looked around and said, we can win this thing.
After 45 years, the Kings can wear their crown. Score!
The Los Angeles Kings are indeed the kings of the National Hockey League.
Stanley Cup moments, presented by McDonald's.
when you're going into the Phoenix series, might have been the first series, regardless of the seeding, where the Kings were the favorite.
There was a quiet confidence about the group. It was all business, and we knew we had an opportunity. I mean, we're in stranglehold of the series at 3-1.
You're going to go back for another game in Phoenix, and the only trepidation is, well, you let them get their foot in the door again.
Look at this push by Phoenix early on.
You know, the Coyotes had, I'm not going to say a lot of chances offensively, but they did dictate the pace and tempo, maybe a little bit more than any time for the Kings in the series against Vancouver or St. Louis.
Waits, sends it to the front, score!
Game 5 is tied going into overtime. And again, another scenario where if the Kings win in overtime, they clinch a series.
Overtime Game 5 is probably one of the more notorious parts of our cup run.
In overtime, of course, as it's progressing, Dustin Brown hits Michael Rozabal.
Kopitar, extra move at the line, it's offside, and then Brown runs into him, and Rosabal's hurt.
Rozabal cut to the middle, and he ended up being offsides, and I, being the player that I am, I finished my check on a side check, and it may look like I go knee on knee, and it ends up being full body contact, and he ends up being hurt, which is probably the most unfortunate thing of the whole situation. It was like the perfect storm for their emotions.
And I think at that point, they came unglued a little bit because they seen their teammate, kind of pulled off the ice. And that had an impact on us winning the game at that point.
You felt the momentum swing from Brownie's hit, and the scrum that ensued, and you go out there and you think, well, this is something big gonna happen right away.
And seconds later, the Kings go down the ice.
Carter closing in, save, rebound out in front of Tim for Penner.
I seen that rebound pop out in the slot, and I knew Pens was close to it.
And I was coming in looking for any loose change.
We had a pretty good view of that. It was at the other end of the ice, but we were looking right down the ice, and I saw when the puck came up the middle and Penner was going to get to it.
When you saw Pens with the chance, it was kind of like the net was partially empty, and it was like, come on, Pens.
When you score that goal, you just know how happy and how excited the guys are going to be.
Trying to hop the boards as quick as possible without falling on my face, and I think a couple guys fell beside me to either side, and you just try to get to the pile as quick as possible and start celebrating.
He skated away from everyone. I just remember everyone trying to catch up to him.
And I remember hesitating on the call just for a split second.
Penner with the puck to Carter to the right circle, a shot, save, rebound. Penner, a shot, and he scores! Dustin Penner!
Jimmy and I are jumping around, and these fans from Phoenix they're really upset. And we're turned around, we're smiling, we're ready to go on camera, and they're just, the more we smiled and the more we hugged each other and congratulated, the more upset they became. But I kind of like to do that in the visiting arena when we win.
Now you have that celebration. At the same time, in the back of your mind is, okay, there's one more. There's one more series here. But you could feel it.
What a feeling it was when that thing went in, because suddenly you realize, like, we're going to the finals. This is going to be amazing.
I just remember hugging everybody and thinking, man, we're going to the Stanley Cup.
And you know what? As much as we weren't done and we didn't feel like we were done, it was pretty damn good at that point to think we're going to Stanley Cup Finals.
You're on the ice and goal scored, and I'm 35. I never played in the finals, just having a chance to play in the Stanley Cup Finals. So you're on the ice, and I was kind of like in shock. It's like, is this happening? Is this real?
So many things get involved in sport now with, the money, the marketing, and everything else. And watching those guys, Mike Richards, jump like a bobblehead, and Penner and Kopi coming off the bench, that is an unbelievable scene. And when you see that youthful exuberance where everything becomes irrelevant except each other, that's a tremendous feeling.
That's one of the best feelings in sports. I think anybody would agree, is to have your teammates come out there and see how excited they are. It's one of those feelings you wish to be able to live over and over again.
After 45 years, the Kings can wear their crown. Score!
The Los Angeles Kings are indeed the kings of the National Hockey League.
Stanley Cup moments, presented by McDonald's.
Game 6 of the 2012 Stanley Cup playoffs. New Jersey are just the third team since 1945 to trail 3-0 and extend the series to Game 6.
It's a different feeling for Game 6 than it was for Game 4. There was so much anticipation in Game 4. It seems to me a little bit more businesslike, more workmanlike from the Los Angeles Kings to start Game number 6.
Losing Game 5 and realizing that New Jersey had the feeling now they're back in the series, and they probably were. They're down 3-2. Now, this is a little different for the Kings. They had not lost 2 straight in the playoffs the whole playoff year.
You're in a little bit of uncharted territory here. The Kings have now lost 2 games in a row, so is it cause for concern?
From the players, I remember waking up that morning, going to the pregame skate at Staples, and I mean, I said it after the morning skate. I said, tonight's our night.
Coming into Staples Center, Game 6, it was a feeling of, we're not going to get denied. There's no way we're losing this game tonight.
At the beginning of the game, we came out and our tempo was almost twice theirs. I mean, it was one of those games where our guys were possessed. You could see the way we were forechecking and we were outplaying them.
When we came out, we had a fantastic start. Everyone was moving, everyone was skating, we had a lot of shots.
We had some really good chances early on. We were feeling good about our game, and then Scuderi gets hit.
I was just going back for a puck, probably a play that I've done, 200 times during the season. I realized I wasn't probably going to beat him to the net, so just reversed the puck to my partner.
He played it. He's waiting. He's pulling the guy in to take the hit, and he moved it. I think Scuds is in a pretty vulnerable position, and I think he expected to get hit in a different spot than he did.
I was yelling to Rob that somebody was right on him. By the time he was able to make the play with the puck, it was kind of too late for him to get out of the way.
Tough hit, real tough hit. First thing for me was Scuds, is his head all right? I've been through a couple concussions, and so my first thing was, his health, is he all right? Because it was a hard hit.
I didn't see the initial impact. I watched the puck go up the wall and try and figure out what happened to him. And then when you see the replay, you're like, wow, he took one for the team there.
Now the question is it going to be a 5-minute major? Are they going to have the 5-minute power play or not?
Scuderi is bleeding, so we'll see what the call is. He got jammed into the boards just behind the King net.
It's the rule, and if you hit a guy from behind and, if you just about knock him out and his nose broken and he's bleeding the way he was, it is a 5-minute.
You could tell they were not sure what they were going to call. And we were in our little corner saying, that's a 5-minute major. Look at him.
I knew I was okay. I just needed a moment to gather myself. But at that point, I was just thinking, I hope I can stay in the game.
I had a chance to talk with the doctor who stitched him up. And he was very proud that he said, he had 37 stitches. And I did it in 7 minutes.
Stitches didn't take too long. They usually do a real quick job, but you have to sit down. They put you almost in a quiet room, I guess you would call it, and they ask you a couple of questions.
And I was told, Scuderi said, don't you even think about not putting me back in that game. He said, well, I've got to ask you some questions. What day is it? And Scuderi said, it's the day of destiny.
Second period ready to start. Derry is back on the ice now after being injured, and he starts the second period.
Who knows what's lifting you at that point? You know, if it's the dream, if it's the other guys, or what it is. But it's, you know, whatever it is, he found it and he came back, and it's definitely a lift. I mean, guys, you feed off of that. You see a guy take something that might put other guys down, and he comes right back without even saying a word either.
Using that as motivation to put ourselves in position to win the cup was huge for us.
This is again where value to the team isn't always quantifiable by a statistic, and the way he came back and finished is pretty incredible. And it was almost like those guys said, you know what you did to one of our guys we really respect, we're going to go out and make you pay. And they sure enough they did on that power play.
After 45 years, the Kings can wear their crown. Score!
The Los Angeles Kings are indeed the kings of the National Hockey League.
Stanley Cup moments, presented by McDonald's.
The expectations to start the season were probably a little bit different than all the Kings players were used to. They grew up together. They just finished 2 years in a row where they made the playoffs.
The feeling was that they've got the right pieces to put a winning team together, and that seemed to be the same attitude around the entire National Hockey League. The Los Angeles Kings will be a contender for the Stanley Cup.
You get 10, 15, 20 games into the season, and the Kings are winning some, they're losing some.
And we'd win a few games, but we seemed to always win either 1-0 or 2-1. It was always Jonathan Quick holding us.
This is a little bit of Kings frustration, but it's another low-scoring game for the Kings. It's another loss.
And then all of a sudden we can't score goals. And top players are trying everything. They're yelling at guys and nothing's changing.
We knew that we weren't playing well. We knew that we weren't responding under the current situation.
With the competitiveness now in the NHL, you can't afford to fall 6, 7, 8 points out of a playoff spot at the midpoint of a season.
So the Dallas Stars win it, handing the Kings their 4th straight loss, and the scoring woes continue.
Of course, everyone turns their attention to the coaches and the coaching staff.
You know, at the time we were stumbling, and you know, as the old saying goes, you get rid of the coach or you get rid of a whole bunch of the players.
I remember that day in Boston. A bunch of us were all over the city that day. We had a day off, and all of a sudden we had a 6 o'clock meeting at the hotel.
You know, I think everybody kind of put 2 and 2 together and knew what it was about.
It has been a wild and at times depressing last 24 hours for the Kings here in Boston. The players being held accountable for the dismissal of Terry Murray.
The first part about the thought process is extremely difficult to let any person go. And what Terry Murray did here can never be forgotten and is a huge part of our success here.
You can't fire a team. Unfortunately, the load and the pressure and the responsibilities fall on the head coach. It was a tough move for us. But again, sometimes the players, they just need a different voice. They need a different way of viewing the game.
We did it to ourselves. You could have easily traded guys or sent guys down or whatnot. And you know, sometimes, unfortunately, the coach is the first person to go.
I respect Terry a lot, and I liked him, and he was responsible for getting us where we were, and it was really hard to see that move be made.
That week was probably one of the hardest weeks for this team all throughout the year.
I think the first thing you feel as a player is a little guilty that your lack of performance led to someone else losing their job.
Again, yesterday, Daryl Sutter was introduced as the new head coach of the Kings, the 24th coach in club history.
What was the deciding factor in you taking this opportunity?
I think probably 2 or 3 things. Daryl, number one, was Dean. Working with him before, having the same type of feelings about players and type of team that you need.
I knew if I was going to do this, the type of coach I was looking for, the type of man I was looking for, And fortunately, not only was he available, but it was somebody that, I had a very strong relationship with.
Daryl Sutter came in, and right away it was more aggressive.
He just wanted us to be a quicker team everywhere, all over the ice. Quick pressure here, quick pressure there.
Daryl brings that intensity, and you can see it around the dressing room, and definitely before a game, and he definitely demands the best out of you. If you're not playing well, you're just not going to play.
You know exactly where he stands on every issue. There's no gray. It's black or white with him, and you know exactly which direction he's going in. He's going to pull you in that direction, and if you don't want to be a part of it, then you're not going to be around for too long.
Players pretty much probably know who you are and what you're about, and for the most part, even though you don't personally know the players, you know what type of players they are and what you think they're capable of doing.
I think the belief system started to develop with the Kings because of the new style they were playing. That more aggressive approach, the go get the puck, go take the game away from the opposition. That was a completely different attitude and atmosphere than it started the season.
He told them, let's be more aggressive offensively. And I think that's what every player wants. Every player wants to score goals.
That gave us some confidence that, all right, at least we're back on the right track. When Daryl came on and we had a real good streak, we were picking up points in every game, guys are starting to feel a little bit more confident again. I thought we all knew that you could breathe just a little bit easier.
He challenged you on a one-on-one basis, to kind of play better than the guy that's across from you. And, I think guys really kind of took hold of that.
He has kids our age that, I know he would say this too. He pretty much thinks we're his kids and his family, and that's just how he cares about this team and about the players on it.
He came in and motivated us to be at our best. He knew which buttons to press to get certain players going and to get certain players playing to the best of their abilities.
I think the guys embraced that attitude. Everybody jumped on board. From that point there, I really sensed that this team was, poised to do something special.
After 45 years, the Kings can wear their crown. Score!
The Los Angeles Kings are indeed the Kings of the National Hockey League.
Stanley Cup moments, presented by McDonald's.
It's another low-scoring game for the Kings. It's another loss. And the scoring woes continue here in Los Angeles.
A little bit of surprise when you look at it. At the end of the night, it was a shorthanded goal. It was the only goal that the Kings were able to score. And the Kings have to find a way to manufacture some goals.
Well, as the season progressed and you're heading down into the stretch run, the trade deadline, of course, is looming. And the Kings still are a very good defensive team. They're getting great goaltending every night from Quick. They're not scoring goals.
There's always a little bit of unease in the room around that time, especially on a struggling team that should be better.
From the outside, people think trades are like, fantasy leagues. There's so much more involved. We thought we were still one top forward away from being a legitimate contender.
All the players are wondering, one, am I going to get traded, or two, who are we trading for?
There were a lot of rumors that so-and-so might be shopped around, and Dustin Brown's name came up.
Dustin's name was being thrown around there, and thrown around pretty liberally by a lot of people.
I mean, I guess it's part of the business. My name was out there. It was a tough time, but coming to the rink and doing my job, getting on the ice and practicing was the easiest part. It was more or less going home. I mean, it's my livelihood, so if I get traded in the next 24 hours, everything changes.
I think everybody knew something was going to happen, and you realize who's the most appealing, for a trade.
They win the draw. Johnson left circle, a shot.
I remember, talking to Dean and saying, if we move Jack and with Slava, we're not going to lose a whole lot. And you look at it. I mean, Jack's a very good player. Don't get me wrong, but so is Slava. Why not?
He's very, very good offensively. Has a bomb of a shot from the point. Passes the puck really well. Is very skilled, and then defensively, he's just becoming better and better every game.
It's the one piece in the organization where you say, take one guy out, put Slava in, and put a score up here. Those are the types of deals that make sense.
The deadline is approaching, and they make the trade. They acquire Jeff Carter.
When I found out about the trade, I was at a season ticket holder event at the arena, actually. Felt my phone vibrating off the hook in my pocket, so I kind of figured something had happened. My initial reaction was a lot of excitement.
What was important for us at the time is we needed to get a game breaker. And Jeff Carter is exactly that. He's the kind of player that he can play the game and plays a good game, and next thing you know, he gets the puck once on his stick and it's in the net.
It's always tough to see a guy going, but at the same time, we needed scoring and we needed it immediately. And to get a guy like Jeff come in here, it's again too, the excitement was high right away.
He comes into the locker room and he's got that added scoring touch. We think it just brings that level of confidence up.
You know, I was excited just to come in and try and be a piece of the puzzle and get things going in the right direction.
Then you get to the trade deadline. And even though I believe that teams were inquiring about Dustin Brown as opposed to the Kings going out and putting him out there, it almost created a story unto itself.
I sit beside Dustin in the dressing room, and then the trade deadline, that game we played, you could see a little bit of a change in him, a little bit of how nervous he was, and you know, obviously he didn't want to go.
Dustin's our captain, and those were rumors started by others. I wanted him to know that those kind of trades go through ownership.
It was maybe 10 minutes before I went on the ice. Tim comes barging through the trainer's room. He's looking for me.
Tim went to him before the game and said, hey, you're not going anywhere.
I just told him, be our captain. Win the cup.
Here's Brown in front, he shoots, he scores! Win the draw, shot by Martinez, score! On the rebound!
He picked up his game, kind of showed them, I'm going to play so well that there's no way you can even think of trading me, and that's what he did.
Brown for the hat trick, he scores!
Well, if I were the Kings, and you feel you have a player struggling, just put it out there that you're going to trade him.
It was truly incredible the way Dustin played. You see the character of a player when things are not going great. When sometimes times are tough, you have a choice to make as a player. I mean, he was possessed that game.
In that game we played, he goes out and scores 3 goals in a row, and it just he just took off from there.
If you look statistically, that was certainly a turning point, and the record was quite a bit better. The goals for were a lot better.
You know, our lines were all set. There was no line juggling at all after that point. Everybody had their role, everybody knew their role, and played it.
That's when the identity and the kind of the beat of our team changed quite a bit. We started to get much more consistent, started to get bigger, faster, stronger on pucks, and played a much quicker in-your-face style of game.
I give Dean credit. He told me when I had breakfast with him the first time, he said, there's going to come a time I'm going to call you, and we had to add the pieces. But when we do, I will make sure that those are the final pieces. And he told me finally with Jeff, this is the piece. He was right.
After 45 years, the Kings can wear their crown. Score!
The Los Angeles Kings are indeed the Kings of the National Hockey League.
Stanley Cup moments, presented by McDonald's.
Game 1, first round series, Stanley Cup playoffs, Kings and Vancouver Canucks here at Rogers Arena tonight.
I remember a conversation I had with Rob Scuderi just before the playoffs started. And I said, if there's one thing this team needs to bring into the playoffs to be successful, he said to me, killer instinct.
The team had played them 2 years ago, so there was some fresh wins. They were the favorite to win the cup, so we were going out in an upset mode.
Never liked that team. You know, they're obviously a good team, so that's one reason to hate them. And at the same time, the players on their team, they just bug me. Those players tend to try and get under your skin too much, and you know, eventually it does.
I saw both sides of the equation. I was in Vancouver when Vancouver knocked LA out of the playoffs, and so I got to hear it from all the guys on our team and how much they hated this and this player on Vancouver and how Vancouver is this, that, whatever.
Game 3 Stanley Cup playoffs. First round, Kings, Vancouver Canucks here at Staples Center tonight.
Into the Kings zone, right side, shot by Hansen. He hit the post.
Things got physical. Guys were getting hit left and right. And, you know, you're taking hits, giving hits. It's a fun game to play in.
But then the captains come together right in front of Vancouver's bench.
He's having a difficult time getting up. He was run over. The hit initially by Brown was not called. There was no call at all, and Henrik looked like he was shaken up. Henrik's down, Bob, and he's having a difficult time getting up. He was run over.
He kind of passed it back. He was right in front of their bench, and he passed it to the far side, and I think he was turning to come back up ice, and I was coming down on the forecheck.
I was going over there just to kind of check him, and then at the last second I saw Brownie coming from the opposite direction.
I think I heard it before I actually saw it. I've not heard the crowd noise, but heard the actual hit.
You could hear the impact, and when you hear an impact like that, you know something big happens.
Henrik goes down, and it's right at the door. He's scratching at the door.
There was no call at all, and Henrik looked like he was shaken up.
Brownie, sometimes you don't have to hear his hits. You just have to look at the crowd to know how good they are. And they turned around when the Sedins was on the ice, and no one seemed to be going after Brownie, which meant it was a clean hit.
One of the hardest hits I've seen so far.
For Brownie to lower the boom, especially to a guy of that degree, that was carrying their team at that point. You think, wow, talk about a statement.
Now you see Burrs go after Kopitar. I don't know, has Andre Kopitar ever been in a scrap?
It certainly gave us spunk, and I don't know if it derailed them a little bit, but anything that you can do to get a little advantage on your opponent that you're playing a best-of-7 series with is crucial.
Brownie was unbelievable throughout that whole series, and not only did he do it by scoring goals, he did it in the physical aspect as well.
Winds up on the right wing boards. Williams a shot, save, rebound, score! Dustin Brown with his 4th goal of the series.
The big hit on Sedin by Brown, I think, was a big turning point in that series. It was like the Kings knew we're the physical team here now, and I think Vancouver knew it also.
To the right circle, Doughty in too deep, centers the puck loose in front, score! Brad Richardson, done by the Kings, stole to the net, shoots, scores! They have taken out the Canucks in 5 games. They win the series 4 games to 1.
That hit on Sedin seemed to kind of almost break the will of the Canucks.
Obviously, Brownie was doing that all playoffs, so I think he brings a lot of intensity. He definitely wears that C how he's supposed to, and leaves it all on the ice and leads us by example.
The fact that was, their captain, their best player, and our captain got physical with him. It was a pretty big statement on our part.
It is the singular moment I remember in the playoffs that is a non-goal scoring moment. Because of the game, because of the series, and the way it was being played, it was just an incredible hit.
After 45 years, the Kings can wear their crown. Score!
The Los Angeles Kings are indeed the Kings of the National Hockey League.
Stanley Cup moments, presented by McDonald's.
Second round, playing the St. Louis Blues. 2 teams that came into the NHL together back in 1967. 2 teams that have never won a Stanley Cup.
The Kings-St. Louis matchup, I thought going in was going to be the most difficult series.
Just how much size and speed they had up front. I thought they could punish any team, and I thought they could punish the Kings.
Going into round 2, all you heard about was we upset Vancouver, we're going to lose to St. Louis.
We knew it was going to be a real physical series, a hard series.
We knew they were a different team than Vancouver. They're a lot more physical, I think. They're bigger. They're a team that was, I'd say, built for the playoffs.
You kind of break down their lineup, and they matched really well against us. They played a lot the same way.
Well-coached team, up-tempo, fast, big, strong. So we felt like we were looking in the mirror.
As it turned out, we came out and they came out with a vengeance on the forecheck.
They came at us hard. They came at us really hard, and we needed Johnny Quick in the first 10 minutes to make probably 5 or 6 great saves, and he did that.
Brilliant stop by Jonathan Quick.
You know, Quick was huge for us there and just gave us a chance to kind of take a deep breath, realize, hey, let's get going. And I thought we played fantastic from there on out.
And with 14.2 seconds left, Dustin Penner has put the lid on game 1.
We didn't get too excited after winning game 1 there in St. Louis. We just tried to refocus for game 2 and getting a winning game 2.
Mike Richards, 31 seconds in.
All of a sudden, the Kings came through, and especially in game 2, were able to score a lot of goals.
Centers, Kopitar scores. Early on, Carteret scores. Jeff Carter. The Kings restore the 4-goal lead.
I knew right then and there it was over, and guys were excited about it.
Coming back home up 2-0, it's a great position to be in.
The fans hadn't been in the second round in 10 years.
I sensed something was brewing, and you got the sense that when, we looked like we could win that series, you had 20,000 people that were starting to smell it a little too.
Don't look now, but LA has become a hockey town.
Kings off to a great start.
The LA Kings hockey Cinderella skaters.
Welcome to the official LA Kings watch party.
It started to make people believe. It starts to catch, fire and catch some steam. The Kings are coming. The Kings are coming.
Dowdy to the front, picked up by Williams. The front. Oh, score! But here's a break for Dwight King. He scores! Kopitar hands it off down low. Richards scores!
It's kind of a confidence feeling, and it's from the players, it's from the fans, it's from everywhere that now the hope has gone to a belief.
Dowdy with a chance. He scores!
There was a momentum change in the series. You sense it as a coach, right, where we were taking over.
Everybody looks at, well, game 4, you're going to close it out, whatever, and as a player, you're like, okay, we got to close this out. We do not want to go back to St. Louis.
I don't think one time the word sweep was used in the room.
Everybody had their bags packed, because if we lost that, we're hopping on a plane going right to St. Louis. And everybody has said we don't want to give them any life. We want to end this right here, home ice.
We had lost game 4 against Vancouver, and we were hoping to avoid the same fate. It was definitely on our minds, like, hey, we've pushed them to the edge. Now let's push them over and end it.
And the guys just, it seemed like they had a burst of energy, and the crowd carried them to make sure they were going to finish this game.
Shot, score! Jordan Nolan on the turnover by the Blues. Brown into the zone, Brown in the circle, a shot, he scores!
Right below me were a lot of fans. Every time the Kings would score, they would turn around, look at me, and say, yeah, Bob, we're going to win, we're going to win.
Just remember Brownie getting the empty net goal and Kopi jumping on him.
On empty net, in on goal, score!
I never heard Staples as loud as when I scored that empty net goal and make it 3-1.
You couldn't hear anything. That was the loudest I've ever heard that building. The fans were going nuts.
They knew with 3 minutes to go, that's it. The Kings are going to sweep it, they've got it, and they could just go crazy.
The more the time kept coming down, the louder it was.
Eventually, when the final buzzer went, and you see the Kings celebrating, it was an emotional time.
Things were happening that, to me, gave you an indication this could be the year. Things are happening here.
At that point, it was one of the special moments of the whole year.
I think everybody got a sense that maybe this was something special developing, and I think the fans had a sense after the Kings beat the Blues that why not us?
The Kings have swept the St. Louis Blues.
I think when we beat St. Louis, it started to make people believe, right, that this is possible. Make people believe, the Kings can win a Stanley Cup.
After 45 years, the Kings can wear their crown. Score!
The Los Angeles Kings are indeed the kings of the National Hockey League.
Stanley Cup moments, presented by McDonald's.
Kings send it down the ice. Penner with the puck to Carter to the right circle. A shot, save, rebound. Penner, a shot, and he scores! Dustin Penner has sent the Kings to the Stanley Cup Finals.
Winning the third round was exciting for our organization and our fans.
Being able to go into that locker room and knowing we've now given ourselves a true opportunity, a real shot at winning the cup. It was a time to celebrate.
There's a little bit of excitement just because we made it to the Stanley Cup Finals. All of us are in there celebrating and high-fiving and just excited, you know, and it was a cool experience.
And everybody was happy, but I think the best feeling that was in that locker room and outside coming back was, it's business as usual. We still got to win 4 more games.
It's funny, if you really think about it, it's only become a big thing whether you touch the conference championship trophy in the last maybe 7-8 years. Before that, guys would take it right off the ice, no big deal. I wasn't going to touch it just because that was what I chose to do, and at the end of the day, you know, Zach Parise didn't touch his either.
We had the Clarence Campbell Trophy. The players don't really want to hang around that because that's not the goal. We'd heard there was over 2,000 people at the airport. We knew the players hadn't landed yet, so let's go there before the players and we'll bring out the trophies for our fans because they were there. We knew they drove all night. When we got there, the biggest shock was there was cops everywhere, and there was over 4,000 to 5,000 people. It was truly incredible to see the crowd there in the middle of the night, and it was great just to, you know, to bring out the trophies, just to show the fans that, you know, this is what we had accomplished. And everybody kept saying, you know, 4 more wins, you know. And it was a pretty neat feeling. But I remember telling Tim, so, we got to get out of here. The players are landing. Now we're out of here. We didn't want them to even see the trophy. We just wanted that thing to be out of there as quick as possible.
But we got a thing over the overcom saying that there'd be some fans there. We didn't know how many.
Welcome home, guys. Congratulations. We have over 4,000 people here tonight. It's by far the largest crowd to greet a team coming back home. So what we're going to do is, if you can get in your cars, we're going to line the cars up. You'll have a police escort to Imperial Highway. They will close Imperial Highway to allow you to get out. But we're going to need all the cars lined up together, okay? And we'll all go out together.
I had saw it on Twitter because I follow Bailey.
I remember getting off the plane, and in the background, I could hear kind of a loud din.
We were a little surprised when we landed, and we heard on the plane that there's, you know, what was going on and what the plan was to go by all the fans.
I could hear the fans cheering, and I thought, I remember thinking, this is really something.
True longtime Kings fans have always been loyal, and a number of them were at LAX last night as the Kings arrived home, the Western Conference champs.
We got off the plane, you didn't really know what to expect, and then you see it, and it was pretty awesome.
I think everybody had Kings colors on, either the black and the white or the old purple and gold.
I didn't expect there to be 4,000 fans. I thought maybe 400. 4,000 is a lot, no matter where you are.
It just added so much excitement, you know, to our plane and to our whole team walking off, being Western Conference champions and having 4,000 or 5,000 fans waiting for us.
They have to have a plan for us how to get out of there. You can't stop, because if you stop, then it's just going to back everything up. You know, I had to roll down the window and talk to the people, or at least yell at them as they're going by.
What's up, everybody?
Cheering us as we drove by them. Slowly made our ways down, threw some high fives out the window.
Seeing the amount of people that were here, the energy that was here at that time of the night, it was so intense that the fans were there and supporting the team, and I think it was just a great way to bridge the relationship between the fans and the players.
I read later that a woman said, I live in Lancaster. I was 15 minutes from home and I turned around and came back because I wanted to be part of that experience.
It was pretty amazing. I mean, I had some video clips on my phone just over the steering wheel, and it's so loud, and that's why Kings fans are awesome.
It was awesome to see that support. We got home late too. They don't know how much we appreciate when they do those kind of things for us. We loved it.
The only thing you really ever want as an athlete is to know that your effort was appreciated It was a lot of fun and exciting to see everyone so pumped up for the Kings.
It's pretty special and pretty amazing to see all the fans that came out to support us tonight, especially being this late. But I guess it's been 10 years roughly since we did this, so the support is much appreciated.
It was one of the best moments in, I think, my life, and probably speak for a lot of guys as well.
It was really, really cool, a moment that I'll definitely cherish and remember in my career.
It was so great to see the joy on their faces that we're going to be in the Stanley Cup final once again. And maybe we could win it. We're 4 wins away from the Stanley Cup.
After 45 years, the Kings can wear their crown. Score!
The Los Angeles Kings are indeed the kings of the National Hockey League.
Stanley Cup moments, presented by McDonald's.
Kings and Devils, Game 1 Wednesday in New Jersey. Both teams stellar goaltenders. The Devils play very well at home, but nobody has played better on the road in these playoffs than the Kings. A league record 8-0 away from Staples.
The LA Kings are hoping for their first ever championship, and their fans here in Southern California couldn't be more excited.
The franchise that was born in 1967 is now just 4 wins away from the first ever Stanley Cup title.
We know we're a good team at this point. We also know Jersey's a good team. You know, talking to some people in the East, and, you know, I heard over and over that, you know, you guys don't really want to play Jersey. I was like, wow, these guys are obviously playing well.
The New Jersey Devils are a team that the Kings had not played against a lot over the last few years, being in the opposite conference. So you really don't know a lot about the team. And I think you have to approach it with a real open mind. But the Kings were very confident. They took a very business-like attitude, you know, to New Jersey.
I think we were all excited to play our first game, to kind of get our feet underneath of us because we had the long break, but also just to get in the zone again and get away from the distractions.
Going into Jersey, guys are excited. I mean, we're playing for the Stanley Cup. There's a lot of excitement, but with that excitement, there's a lot of, you know, media day and this and that. Guys did a really good job of staying, you know, on the task at hand. We were there to win hockey games, not do media tours.
Nobody wants to get there and lose. Nobody wants to say, all right, I played in the finals. And guys on our team have done that before. I did that. And there's no consolation. There's nothing you can say over the summer. There's nothing you can say over the rest of your career. People ask you, oh yeah, were you on that Edmonton team for the Cup run? Yeah, I was. And that's the end of the conversation.
Cool for me in a sense because that's where it started in 1999. So it was like, okay, here's your career coming full circle and playing against them. How ironic.
Second time the Kings franchise has been in the Stanley Cup final. 19 years ago, Montreal.
Game 1 was probably the most nervous I've been for an NHL game. And until you really experience, you don't know what it's like.
I was definitely a little jittery to know that you know, we're now in the Stanley Cup finals and it was here.
I thought each guy prepared themselves the way they needed to, and we were ready for it.
And again, as it was in every series, you look at its goaltending. It's quick against Brodeur. How is this going to turn out?
Obviously, they got the guy in goal that's been a legend. We knew we had our work cut out for us, but I think we also knew we're the better team.
For the Devils, they've won 3 Stanley Cups. Their most recent was in 2003. They dropped the puck, and we are underway.
You know, we got off to a good start.
Nolan mashes into Green. Nolan got a quick trigger post.
Our fourth line finds a goal for us. That kind of kept the energy on the bench, and guys started to settle into their games after that.
It was a tight game. The goaltenders on both sides played well.
They were like standing on their heads. It was truly incredible. You know, here was the older Marty Brodeur against this young Jonathan Quick who'd been dominating the playoffs, and it was truly a lot of fun to see.
Shot taken, save is made by Quick.
No surprise to see the physical part of the game pick up here in a second.
You heard all about their forecheck and how good they were grinding teams, and And then we saw it firsthand. I mean, we had a couple shifts there where we were having it pretty good.
Left wing boards now. Shot Volchenkov. Score on the rebound. And we are going to overtime here in game 1 of the Stanley Cup final.
Here we are in overtime, chance to go up 1-0.
Biggest thing that I remember about his ice was bad, and it was guys were running out of gas and it was getting late.
First OT, we were advancing the puck up the ice. From our zone, it was to my left, and I was standing in the middle, and I saw a puck getting chipped out of our zone, and Justin got it.
Justin William, when he got the puck, made one of those plays that you can't teach. You have to be a special player to make that pass.
We had the ace up our sleeve, Andrei Kopitar.
I was just hoping it wasn't going to bounce over his stick because, the ice wasn't very good.
And he's got a clear lane to go right in on Brodeur. And I remember saying, just as he got the puck, Kopitar has a partial break.
Now Williams brings Kopitar a break. In on goal. Kopitar dinks. Scores! Andrei Kopitar has won game 1.
When Kopitar won that game in overtime, it was right down below Jim and I. We were looking right down on that net. You could see the play develop, and there was that anticipation, and then that joy when the puck went in.
And once it went in, I was trying to skate as fast as I could to him, but it was the first time in my whole life that my legs had seized up just from cramping up, and I couldn't even jump into the pile because they just locked up.
I just remember Kopi circling in the corner, and he was kind of like, I don't know, it was jumping, but it was almost like a 1/2 foot jump in the corner in there, and just kind of turning back towards all the guys who were going to mob him. And I just remember that like yesterday. It was pretty cool, a real cool moment.
Twisted along, and here's Kopitar, moving it along. He scored! Kopitar!
You want to make it count every opportunity in OT, and I was able to do that.
He put it in a little place where not many guys can do that.
To pull a move like that in game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals in overtime against Martin Brodeur is, I think I just said it all right there. Enough said.
Twisted along, and here's Kopitar, moving it along. He scored! Kopitar!
After 45 years, the Kings can wear their crown. Score!
The Los Angeles Kings are indeed the kings of the National Hockey League.
Stanley Cup moments, presented by McDonald's.
Fed through by Downey, twisted along, and here's Kopitar, moving it along. He scored! Kopitar in overtime, and the Kings have taken game number 1.
Well, the Kings win game 1 in New Jersey to start the finals with the overtime goal by Andrei Kopitar.
There's no guy in our team that, we won the first game and we've got this series. We got home ice back, this and that, whatever. It was more like a business-like, workman-like attitude. Okay, boys, that's one game. Let's go to practice. Let's have a good one and get ready for the next game.
There were a couple of days off in New Jersey, and I think you wonder sometimes, are you going to continue to be sharp with a couple of days off?
Game 2 Stanley Cup final. Kings leading 1-0. A lot of Devils jerseys throughout the crowd here at the Prudential Center, and we are underway.
Game 2, it was one of those games where Jersey was playing really well.
And what a scramble and what heavy physical play along the boards. Volchenkov, the shot save, and a cover by Quick.
Another tough game. It was carbon copy of game 1 for the most part.
Doughty to the right circle, a shot, and he scores! Drew Doughty, a great individual effort. And the puck winds up in the corner. Bernier feeds the blue line, shot from there, score! Jidlitsky, a shot that appeared to be deflected. In 2 games there in the final, we will go to overtime.
Sudden death, it's like every time
they shoot it on you or we get a shot on them, you're just kind of hoping for the best, for each time.
It was tough. I mean, it's not every game that you can just dominate from the opening draw and keep going. Some days there's games where you just kind of got to just get the job done.
The Kings head into overtime in game number 2, and they had the Richards line out.
Suddenly, out of nowhere, Jeff Carter got that puck in overtime, and he got on there, he got on the right side, and he just turned on the jets.
Puck got chipped out to the neutral zone, and I was coming up back through the middle. I turned and drove it wide, and got past the D, and I saw Pens driving the back post.
Puck was kind of just bouncing around through a few people, and then next thing you knew, it was back on his tape.
I followed back around behind the net, and it just kind of popped right out onto my stick.
All of a sudden, I could see an opening as he skates toward the slot, and I don't know if he's going to pass it back to the blue line.
And I was open. I was just begging that he didn't pass it to me.
Had to wheel around and keep his feet moving to get that lane. It just looked like he wasn't going to be denied.
By the time he got back to the middle, as a goal scorer, I kind of knew what he was trying to do. He was just making sure he wasn't hitting anyone.
You could just see all the traffic in front, and that if you got the puck to the net, there's a good chance it was going to go in.
Kind of the scouting report on Brodeur a little bit. He's going to go down to try and find the puck, and usually that low blocker is open.
I was thinking, yeah, just shoot the puck. Like, you got this. This is your bread and butter. This is your time to shine.
Kept looping around and got to the middle of the ice and fired it. It found a hole.
Here's Carter back quickly, right wing. Jeff Carter down to the net with a pass deflected right through the goal mouth. Jeff Carter gets it back, brings it into the slot. He shoots, and he scores! Jeff Carter wins the game in overtime!
When it finally does go in, you get a feeling of relief and, then excitement, and, you skate down there pretty much as fast as you can, and you're all fired up.
The goal was scored on a special play by a special player. Comes out high and traffic in front. Bruder doesn't see the puck, right? Karts hits the corner. He can shoot around guys and score, and that's a gift. That's something that he has.
Perfect shot, rolling puck, but he still got a lot on it.
I don't even think he was looking at the net when he shot the puck. He turns and he just fires it. That's a goal scorer's goal.
There's not a lot of guys who can hit that shot. And I mean, and if they do, it's, if a guy like me hit it, that's pure luck.
It's another big goal. It's a difference between 2-0 or 1-1, and coming back to our building, that's even better.
2 very close games, but maybe we had the edge slightly between the years, and that was only an edge in belief as opposed to ability.
That's the margin for error when you win a Stanley Cup, is you lose that game, it's a 1-1 series, and to sit there and get up 2-0 in their building and come back to LA, it's everything. It's the game within the game.
Overtime, game 2 of Stanley Cup Finals, to go up 2-0, it's probably one of the biggest goals that I've ever scored, for sure.
To be able to continually do that in those situations is what made us Stanley Cup champions.
After 45 years, the Kings can wear their crown. Score!
The Los Angeles Kings are indeed the Kings of the National Hockey League.
Stanley Cup moments, presented by McDonald's.
The Kings up 3-2, a win tonight, and they win a Stanley Cup championship.
Here's Pierre, how's a hit from behind, Doc. There's a penalty. Yeah, Bernier is going to get a penalty.
So the Kings on a 5-minute major power play.
Given the nature of the hit and the possible concussion, I had to go back. Got stitched up first, and then had to go through some concussion protocol.
Scuderi going down and the Devils receiving a major penalty. This could be a turning point of the game. It could also be the deciding factor on whether or not the Kings were going to win the Stanley Cup.
I remember being in the stands and saying, this is our moment.
The big thing on a 5-minute power play like that, especially in the first period, it's going to be a momentum changer either way.
I can remember sitting back prone and almost I guess a dentist chair would be the best way to explain it. And you're sitting there and they've got the game on in the background. There's a bunch of doctors and staff around.
I remember just kind of huddling up before. I was like, all right, boys, our power play's been garbage all year. Let's go.
Richards with a shot just wide.
What I liked about that power play is our guys were forechecking like man. I mean, like anytime there was a loose puck, our guy was first on the pucks, and next thing you know, it was very dangerous the way we were shooting.
Power play just began, and we wanted to get one early. I saw Brownie drive through the middle and just tried to make a shot pass off his tape.
I don't know how many minutes, and maybe a minute into the power play, you know, Dewey makes a great play and I get a stick on it.
The circle. Brown out to Kopitar to Richards. Touch pass to Doughty. Doughty shot. Tip. Score! Dustin Brown!
I don't tend to celebrate very often. That was probably the most excited I've been scoring a goal in my whole career.
Dustin Brown, his first goal in this series.
You know, I can hear the game in the background. The problem is it's got like a 10-second delay. So you hear a goal, you can hear the whole place erupt. But the funny thing is you're sitting in the training room and I can't see a thing. There's a doctor in my face and I'm thinking the goal doesn't count because I don't hear it on the TV.
The crowd, I think, sensing that the Kings are playing well and now have a lead, are feeling something special.
When Brownie got that first one, you know, it released a little bit of stress.
You're playing up one instead of tied, which is always important.
You know, obviously we get that first goal, and right away you look at the clock, go, oh man, we got a lot of time.
Well, they got the first one, and you know, although you'd always love to get more in a 5-minute major, you think, oh, well, you know, it was worth it, and you know, at least they capitalized on the opportunity. And then you hear the second one, and you're just like, awesome.
I remember we chipped it in, Marty chipped it in and got on the forecheck. I kind of was straddling the blue line, so I kind of came in late, and Ricky got in and helped and stopped the puck up and kind of saw a little slot there for him to make a pass, and he did.
Again, Brown has the puck, and almost from the same spot where he scored the first goal, with Brodeur kind of scrambling to his left.
Brownie, he had a great forecheck, and he came in the middle.
And I just kind of curled up around the defender in front of the net and shot.
Martinez over the line, got it in deep, will chase it down with Henrique and Talinder. Richards there as well, Richards to Brown, Brown holding, shot, score! 2 power play goals on the major penalty to Bernier, and the Kings are up 2-0.
The adrenaline that was pumping through me, and the place is rocking, and it's 15 minutes in the game, we're up 2-0.
You know, the first one was great, and the second one was, you know, felt even better.
Kings lead 2-0. Still 2.5 minutes remaining on the major power play.
I thought the key in that whole series of power plays was the third goal. It was in the closing moments of that 5-minute power play.
You could feel the whole building is like tasting it, you know, you're feeling it.
You know, it gives us a lot of momentum, and now the crowd's really into it.
The crowd was going crazy, the team was going crazy.
Well, the Kings get the puck into the zone. The puck is centered from the corner to Trevor Lewis, and Martin Brodeur tried to knock down, he did knock down the centering pass.
Some of the doctors in the room didn't know if it had gone in. It was kind of a play through the crease, and they didn't know if it was going to count or if he was in the crease, and even the announcers were a bit unsure.
13 seconds to go in the power play. Dwight King, left wing. King cutting in front. Score! Lewis in front of the net, and it's 3-0 Kings.
And the Devils have got to be thinking, we're in deep trouble here.
The icing on the cake was that third one that Kinger and Louis scored.
You kind of felt that going up 3-0, there's no way these guys were coming back on us.
That's a heartbreaker for the other team, especially when they're having trouble, you know, scoring goals.
A lot of guys are thinking this is the dagger right here.
The third power play goal on this major penalty.
To be honest with you, we scored 2, I'd have been elated. You know, we scored 3, and really, as you look back, it didn't feel like it at the time, but that was obviously the game.
Kind of have that feeling like this is, you know, this is the night, it's going to happen here.
It's not how many you score, it's when you score them, right? It's all about scoring at the right time on the power play. It's probably a large reason why we're sitting here Stanley Cup champions.
45 years, the Kings can wear their crown. Score!
The Los Angeles Kings are indeed the kings of the National Hockey League.
Stanley Cup moments, presented by McDonald's.
Kings and Devils come out for the start of the second period. 3-0. The Kings are in front here in Game 6.
You know, after Scuds got hit and we got the big power play, we started putting the pucks in the net. And we got a pretty good lead there.
The Kings are in great shape early in the game, and Carter scores to make it 4-0.
Now Brown again feeds the slot. Carter a shot. Score!
That's when I felt confident that, okay, the Kings are going to win a Stanley Cup.
I know it's still early in the game, but you kind of have that feeling like this is the night. It's going to happen here.
I mean, the Kings are going to win the Stanley Cup, and it's going to be tonight, and it's going to be here at Staples Center, and it's going to be here in front of almost 19,000 fans.
It's kind of like at the 10-minute mark, it goes, I think we're going to win this thing. And then the 5-minute mark, you're still thinking, and when Lewis scored, I said, wow, we are going to win this thing.
Here's an empty net, moving in, score! Trevor Lewis! 3:45 to go, and the Kings lead it 5-1.
You know, moments later, Green scores with a goal that surprised everybody.
And back to the right point. Green scores! Matt Green from the right point. And you can start celebrating. 3:30 to go, and the Kings lead 6-1.
Now they've got themselves a 6-1 lead. You know the game's over in your mind, but we all know it's not over till the final buzzer goes.
Right after Greener scored, the celebration started kind of going on the bench, and Daryl's still trying to call out lines.
He's behind the bench and he's coming down chirping the D-man for this player, this pass we didn't make, and Drew this, Mitchie this. It's like 3 minutes left and you're up by 5 goals. And it's just like, are you kidding me right now?
I know Daryl on our bench was pretty serious up until maybe a minute and a half left in the third period.
And Daryl came down and I remember he kind of gave me a little shot in the ribs and he's like, now we celebrate.
You're looking at the clock the whole time, just waiting for it to go down. You just wonder why it's not moving.
It gets a little hectic, and I think everybody's taking 20-second shifts just because they want to get back on the bench and enjoy it with all the other guys.
When you get back on the bench and you'd see everybody's face, your teammates, the coaching staff, every person you looked at, it was just like, deer in headlights, just big hugs and just a huge celebration. And
the best part then was I could watch the players. They were just waiting for it to get over, and their guys' faces and watching them for those last 3 or 4 shifts. That was the best part.
You look up, and that's the longest minute you'll ever have, and it almost slows down where you can just look at everybody, see all the other players, how excited they are, and you're just trying to take it all in at that time.
In that third period, you're looking around at everybody and watching the fans and seeing how happy they are, and watching my family and seeing how happy they are, and looking at the organization and looking at the Anschutz family and just the sheer joy in everybody's face.
The fans are sharing right in it, but that's the special thing about professional sports is you get to share your feeling with 19,000 other people.
The last row of fans are right in front of us. That was special because the fans are starting to come up and, celebrate with Bob and high fives, and you can reaching out into the fans and you're touching your kids. And in all honesty, I cried. I started crying because it was over.
I was so happy for Kings fans at that moment that you're not on the edge of your seat thinking, oh, if they tie it, we're going to overtime, and you're nervous. It's just, let's just let it out. Let's just cheer and scream and holler because the game is over. We finally won the Stanley Cup.
The countdown is on. 3, 2, 1. It's over.
Really the best part is when that horn goes off and you know that you've done it, and you get to share that moment with your teammates and the guys that have been with you for the whole season, the playoffs and everything, and that's by far my favorite moment.
As a kid, you grow up dreaming of winning the Stanley Cup in Game 7 of the overtime. Quite honestly, you talk about whining moments, I'll take the 6-1 blowout.
As it was counting down, 10, 5 seconds left, and I just remember taking off my gloves and my helmet and my stick.
I had my helmet off for like 9 seconds. I was ready to go.
And I remember me and Dewey were standing there, and like with a few seconds left, and we're both just like standing still, looking at each other, waiting.
I was kind of happy that I was on the bench when the buzzer went. Just being with the teammates on the bench and everybody hugging and yelling and jumping up and down, and it was kind of special just to be just with our teammates and our coaches.
The buzz that was increasing with every second that fell from the clock is like I had a feeling that you want to relive over and over and over and over and over again.
The noise just to keep building and building and building and finally erupting with the end of that, it's awesome.
It's loud. It was just it was like slow motion.
It's still, the whole experience is surreal, right? It's, yeah, it was really cool.
And it was just, seeing them, they looked like 12-year-olds out there. They were just unencumbered joy.
They had 4 minutes that were frozen in time. And usually you're in a game, you say, hurry up, get the clock down there. You didn't want the clock to run.
It's something that you've been looking forward to, and you wonder what it's going to be, and it was everything. It was everything you wanted it to be.
The guys that blood, sweat, and tears all year long, it was just us on the bench, no one else. That 4 minutes on the bench, that was probably the best 4 minutes of my life.
After 45 years, the Kings can wear their crown. Score!
The Los Angeles Kings are indeed the kings of the National Hockey League.
Stanley Cup moments, presented by McDonald's.
I think the greatest thing about the Stanley Cup is walking into a room, whether it be in the Hall of Fame in Toronto or anybody's living room or somebody's house, and you walk in and see there is the Stanley Cup. And everybody knows what that is.
The countdown is on. 3, 2, 1. It's over.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Stanley Cup.
I remember thinking, how cool is this? They're bringing out the Stanley Cup here in our building, and we have won the Stanley Cup.
Finally killing the ice, and it was right there, and it finally sank in, what we've dreamed to do our whole lives was right in front of us.
That walk, which was pretty long, seems like it was forever for me, because I wanted it to be at center ice so much.
Well, when the cup came out, that's what you dream of. And I'm just waiting for him to call me up. And as a player, there's no words I can tell you that will describe that feeling for myself or for a lot of guys.
Probably the shiniest trophy you'll ever see. You almost feel like crying just looking at that thing coming out here. That's probably the slowest walk, because you're going to get your hands on it at some point. But then Gary's got to speak, and you're just like, okay, enough's enough. Just give it to Brownie and let's pass that thing around.
It's my honor to present the Stanley Cup to Captain Dustin Brown.
The special moment is when the commissioner says, Captain Dustin Brown, here is the Stanley Cup. And when Brown goes over and grabs the cup and puts it over his head, I think for me, that's the moment.
Now Dustin Brown hoisting the cup.
First thing I did is I looked at the cup, but then after that, I have to admit, I looked up and I looked at everyone in the stands because it was very loud, yet no one was clapping because everyone had their phones out. I mean, literally, I think there was 18,000 phones on that Stanley Cup, but then yet it was super loud. So that means everyone was screaming at the same time. It was a pretty wild feeling.
I saw tears, people were hugging each other, they were still jumping up and down, they were walking around like, did this really happen? And I think for all of us, that was what we were all feeling. I think the fact that I was still on the air and still had to work at it prevented me from really showing my true emotions. But when the players passed that cup to each other, Brown to Willie Mitchell and right on down the line, and seeing how every player reacts once they get to touch that cup, that's always been the special part of the whole cup ceremony for me.
Come here!
Well, I feel privileged and honored that Brownie gave it to me second. You think about all the things that happen in your career and all the work you put in to get at this point, and that's what you strive for.
I just remember going up to Kartsy and just telling him, make sure you grab it after me. You know, we've been through a lot together, so that was definitely a nice touch at the end of the season.
You know, that's every little boy's dream when they're growing up, is to one day win the Stanley Cup and to get to skate around the rink with it above your head. And you know, when you accomplish that and you get the chance to do it, it's a pretty special feeling.
Me and Greeny have been through a lot together. We came here in a trade together almost exactly 4 years ago. You know, for him to hand me that cup was very, very special.
Quickie came out to me, he's like, hey, Dewey, let's rock, paper, scissors for who gets the cup next. And I was like, no, you can take it, buddy. I'll get it from you after.
Friends and family told me that I should have taken a longer lap. I just wanted to do it, and I just didn't want to drop it.
No, it's kind of cool to get it from Quickie. The thing was heavy, that's for sure. I didn't expect that. I wanted to, you know, power lift it over my head and then almost kind of tip backwards.
I had been fortunate enough to do it before, so I got to enjoy it a lot more because you start watching everybody else the second time around more so than the first time.
You always think that nothing can compare to the first time, and then you know, you're able to do it again, especially with a different set of guys. And it was a lot of fun for me to see a lot of guys win it for the first time, because I remember what that felt like for me.
From when I was a young kid, I remember being in the same room as the Hockey Hall of Fame and just seeing it, just, you know, you get filled with excitement.
As a piece of management, just a little piece of this organization, to have the opportunity to walk on the ice and that cup, I can't explain what that thing, I can't, to right now, I mean, I get chills when I see that thing. It's like, wow.
To lift at Staples Center, at Center Ice, to be part of the organization that I love so much, and I just know what it means for Los Angeles. I know what it means for our fans, and I know what it means for this organization.
I mean, I was drafted by the Kings. I grew up in this organization. To be part of a group of guys that brought a Stanley Cup to LA is special. I was the first LA King to touch the Stanley Cup. I mean, it's not only a privilege and an honor, but it's much more than that for this organization.
Kind of just trying to describe what it is, and I use the term magical, just because it really, it felt like there was something special that you were holding.
I think so many things in life we say, boy, if I only had that. And unfortunately, 90% of the time, it doesn't hit the spot and you're disappointed. We all say, boy, it'd be great to win a Stanley Cup. It's better than I ever dreamed. And you just can't describe it. That's the only way I can put it.
Even then, I didn't get real teary-eyed. Just happy for family members who were there, who've been around for so many years, and thought, will we ever, ever see this day? And there it was.
After 45 years, the Kings can wear their crown. Score!
The Los Angeles Kings are indeed the kings of the National Hockey League.
Stanley Cup moments, presented by McDonald's.
The long wait is over. After 45 years, the Kings can wear their crown. The Los Angeles Kings have won the Stanley Cup.
Los Angeles had a chance to celebrate something a lot of people thought they would never see. The Kings win the Stanley Cup. Years from now, I'm sure I'll look back on that night as one of the greatest in my broadcast career and in my life. Unlike '93, when I saved the newspapers and we didn't win, this is going to be a joy to go back and look at the souvenirs from that night that the Kings won the Cup.
This past season was unbelievable. It's something I'll never forget. It's a special time. It's something we dream about, and I think it's special being that it's the franchise's first championship. Members of this particular team, they go down in history, and it's something that every player now that becomes a King over the years, they'll remember those names.
Years from now, when people look back on this, they will remember where they were when we won, because that's the first one. It's pretty amazing.
Unbelievable environment to play hockey in, and it was, every time you went there and played, it was exciting, and you could feel the emotion from the fans.
If you say what word comes to you when you think of Kings fans, the first word I think of is loyalty. They'll have their Kings jersey on and they'll be there. And now the great thing is they're going to have a chance to put that Kings jersey on and walk around knowing their team has won the Stanley Cup.
It's life-changing for myself and for a lot of guys down there. And again, one of those things I look back on, my favorite moment probably was, quite honestly, sitting on that bench with 2.5 minutes left to go. Just the guys.
Probably what is going to stand out to me the most is not that the Kings won their first Stanley Cup, but how they won the Stanley Cup.
Stoll shoots, he scores! Header, a shot, and he scores!
The road wins, 3-0 in all 4 rounds, beating the first, second, and third seeds. Stuff that's never been done before and may never be done again in NHL playoff history.
So we worked hard. We busted our butts to win it, right? We did. Fought some adversity, played hard, came together as a team. I'm not going to take that away from us. And I just feel privileged and honored to get a chance to win a Stanley Cup, have my name on it, have the day with it with my family back home, because there is a ton of great players that played in this league who just never had that opportunity. And you can play your tail off and do all the right things and stay healthy and never have that chance. I just feel honored to be on a team that came together like that and won it all.
I think I'm just proud of my teammates. It takes every single guy to do their job to win, and to be part of another group that had that set of guys, I feel very lucky to be a part of this group.
It was the next morning. I remember waking up and a short sleep, but waking up and jumping out of bed and walking up, and I remember my dad sitting at the computer, and he just kind of looked over and he's like, "So how does it feel?" And then that's the moment where it's kind of hits you. That's a pretty cool feeling, I think.
This will stick with me forever. This makes you. This isn't something you dream about. This isn't something you remember. This isn't your fondest memories. It becomes part of the character of you as a human being.
It's the first Stanley Cup I've been involved in, and really was one of the, other than probably my kids being born, was one of the greatest times of my life.
One of the cup holders was at Stoley's, and we just asked him, so our names are going here, and he's like, "Yeah, you'll get your section right beside Boston," and then he just kind of hits you, get some chills, and keep looking at the names, and there's some pretty special names on there to be a part of that.
To be able to have your name and the rest of your teammates' names on the, one of the most iconic trophies in sports is pretty special.
My brothers are on there. My brothers are on there 6 times, so to see it again, it's pretty cool.
It means the world to me. That's it, and it's something that I think is. I'm very proud to have my name on it. I'm very proud for that I can share that with my dad, and I can share that with my kids.
For our names to be engraved on the cup forever, I mean, you know, you talk about careers and Hall of Famers and how many goals you scored and how many points you had in your career. And when you do something like we just did, it don't matter, because whether you have 10 goals in your career or 500, your name's on that cup, and it don't matter what anybody says. It's never going to change.
No matter when I'm 80, when I'm 90, you know, people talk about the Stanley Cup. You're always going to remember these days, right now, what's happening. All those memories will be fresh in your mind. And tell your kids, tell your friends, tell your, anybody that wants to listen what it was like in 2012, and just can't wait to see my name on that cup.
It took a while after we won it, but after the parade and after the parties, it began to dawn on me that it'll change me forever.
I'll look back and I'll remember the guys and the laughs we were able to have.
I think the coolest thing will be in 20 years from now, looking up in the rafter and seeing that the banner of the Stanley Cup, and you say, wow, that was the first one. Hopefully there's 10 by that time. And the other thing will be to go to the Hall of Fame. You look at the Stanley Cup, and there it is. It says 2011-12 Los Angeles Kings.
This is for you, Kings fans, wherever you may be. The 45-year drought is over. The Los Angeles Kings are indeed the kings of the National Hockey League. They are the 2012 Stanley Cup champions.
After 45 years, the Kings can wear their crown. Score!
The Los Angeles Kings are indeed the kings of the National Hockey League.
Stanley Cup moments, presented by McDonald's.
We found a way to claw ourselves into the playoffs, and now everything was coming together. Carty was coming back to the line. It would be the first time we had played at full strength, and just the way we kind of finished the year, just a really confident group.
You know, the hockey world outside of our dressing room had us as an 8 seed, but that didn't really matter.
No one in the playoffs wanted to play us in the first round. We were a team that was low scoring all year, good defensively, big, strong. But at the end of the year, we were all those things, plus now an offensive team.
We went into Vancouver hoping to win game 1, and we won game 1, and then we worried about game 2. We won game 2, and then we just took off from there.
But game 3 of the series against Vancouver, it's one of those things where Vancouver is thinking, do or die game. You have to win this game.
The middle, a shot saved by
Hendricks down, Bob, and he's having a difficult time getting up. He was run over.
Up on the right wing boards. Williams, a shot save, rebound, score! The Kings win their first home game in this series, and the Kings are 1 win away. Hamhuis races out to center ice. Had it knocked off his stick by Lewis. Picked up by the Kings. Stoll to the net. Shoots. Scores! Jared Stoll wins the series for the Kings.
It gave us the confidence that we can beat anyone at this point in time, because you beat a team that's won the President's Trophy twice. It tends to put the wind at your back.
With it, Penner in the corner, centering pass, shot, score! Slava Voinov, save is made, rebound, shot, score! Matt Green, Richards scores! In front, Williams scores! The Kings are up 2-0. Richards over the line, stops, hits the trailer. Doughty shoots, score!
The LA Kings are taking a commanding 3-0 lead.
On the bench, there was a focus and a calmness.
Everybody just saying how much of a team it looked like we were playing and how together we were on the ice. And I think we just we felt something special was happening.
Kopitar off to Brown on left wing. Brown into the zone. Brown to the circle. A shot. He scores! The Kings have swept the St. Louis Blues.
It's all what you believe, what you think about your team. And we, within our dressing room, we knew we had the guys to do it. We knew we had the experience, the character, the leadership. You still got to win the next game. You still got to worry about that next one. And you lose your focus, you're going to lose that game.
When you're going into the Phoenix series, everyone's asked their opinion. The Kings were the favorite, and I think it was very interesting to see how the Kings would react to that.
Lost the puck, gets it back, it's bouncing. Now Kopitar with it, backhander, score! Brown to the net with a shot, he scores! Kopitar a shot, tip save, score on the rebound, Jeff Carter! And the Kings win it 4-0 and are up 2-0 in this Western Conference Final.
Going into that third round and starting in Phoenix and winning the first game and then winning the second game, you're going, is the team ever going to lose?
Is it Kopitar, a breakaway, in on goal, Deeks scores!
And for the third straight series, the Los Angeles Kings have a 3-0 lead.
The ability to win 3 games in a row, to start every series. It had never been done before. The Kings were able to do that.
Here comes Carter, closing it, save, rebound out in front of Tampa Penner. He scores! Dustin Penner ends it in overtime, and the LA Kings are going to the Stanley Cup Final.
In playoffs, every play is huge. 7-game series, isn't it? And really not a whole lot of time, to have any mistakes in your game. So, you got to be sharp at all times.
Nobody has played better on the road in these playoffs than the Kings.
Now just 4 wins away from the first ever Stanley Cup title.
Kings still perfect on the road.
The Kings have been so dominant on the road, 8-0 in the first 3 series.
Compared to how you started the season, now you seem to be just total high gear.
You guys have been so perfect on the road. I mean,
you guys have some pretty unbelievable numbers here. 10-0 on the road, 14-2 record. You're starting to walk this team on some pretty hallowed playoff grounds.
I said this to the media, I don't know how many times. The only time we talk about our road record is when you guys bring it up.
I think the guys who are getting the most caught up in the stats and stuff like that were the media. We were confident in our team, we were ready to go, and we just wanted to play.
Kopitar a break, in on goal. Kopitar Deeks scores! Andrei Kopitar! Carter gets it back, brings it into the slot, he shoots, and he scores! Jeff Carter wins the game in overtime! Williams in on goal, a shot, save, rebound, Williams scores!
to be able to put that many wins together in a row, it's not easy to do. Even though we were making it seem easy, it was tough. Every single game was a battle.
What got us to 3-0 in a lot of those series was our great starts, and then Daryl's preparation to not let us wander and not have our performance wander.
What makes this team special? I mean, you look at the road record, and we went 16-4. I mean, as players, you're focused from game to game, but you look back in retrospect now and just talking to other people, like, you guys made it look easy. And at the end of the day, it's about the group achieving its goal.
Wow, like what a ride. I mean, you think back to the Vancouver series and winning that, and then St. Louis, and then Phoenix, and then, the pinnacle Jersey. It's like, wow, I look back and go, wow, what a run.
That was good. We had a chance to go 16-2. It would have been nice. We weren't able to do that. So obviously there's room for improvement.
After 45 years, the Kings can wear their crown. Score!
The Los Angeles Kings are indeed the kings of the National Hockey League.
Stanley Cup moments, presented by McDonald's.
Right side, pass up the middle, a shot saved by Quick on that shot right in the middle.
Jonathan Quick, his second career playoff shutout.
Fires into the glove of Quick.
Early in the season, the Kings were only averaging somewhere around 2 goals a game, 29th in offense for most of the season, and yet Jonathan Quick was just tremendous in goal.
He gave us a chance to win every single game. There's not a game that I can remember that he didn't give us a chance to win the game. And that's all you can ask for in your goaltender. And a great goaltender steals games and wins games for you. And he definitely did that as well.
You know, for the most part, he was, you know, stealing games, really, you know, because we didn't score a whole lot.
Without him, the first part of the season, probably we don't have enough time to get our feet under us and get going.
For the most part, a lot of games that we won would have never happened if Quickie didn't play the way he did. So if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't even made the playoffs. So a lot of the credit has to go towards him, obviously.
When a goalie can put something like that together, you know, usually that's the accolades you get. You're in the running for a Vezina trophy.
Pretty surprised if we didn't win it, to be honest. I think he'd get my vote for sure. He's been, you know, our best player all year. Probably one of the main reasons, obviously, we made the playoffs. He was unbelievable. I think what he finished with 10 shutouts, like, it's just crazy.
Jonathan Quick was unbelievable, and really the reason that a lot of us felt he should have won the Vezina trophy is that he put up numbers that were so good and kept the Kings in games when they weren't scoring goals, giving them that chance until they could either win it or get a point in overtime or a shootout, and that's what Jonathan Quick gave them.
I think without Jonathan Quick, if you look back on it, without Jonathan Quick playing as well as he did the first half of the year, we wouldn't have made the playoffs.
Into the blue line of the Kings, and down in deep, a nice move, shot saved by Quick. Kessler with a great move and Quick with a big save.
After the stellar season he had, he somehow found a way to raise his game even higher for the playoffs.
See teams struggle to score on him, see him make some of the saves that, you know, only God knows how he made them.
Has the man coming late to the zone. Russell, a shot, block, rebound, in. Oh, and Quick just before it got to the goal line. Able to keep it out.
You know, it's huge. He gives me the confidence every night that, you know, if I'm going to make a mistake, he's going to be there and save it.
Vodka coming in, jumps over, and then Quick made a stop on Vermette.
Probably no more important piece of the puzzle as him.
Makes it easier when you know you have a guy back there that you have a tremendous amount of confidence in.
Championships, of course, it's made by Quick. The first strong test on Quick in the game.
You know, for finals, I don't think I've ever seen him as calm as he was. I mean, he's a world-class goaltender, and that's all he wants. It's pretty much just get a chance to win the game, and he's definitely given us that.
Moving back up, he's got Zajac with him, throws it front, and stop made by Quick. Glitsky with it again, Fettig, took a shot and a save made by Quick. A shot by Green is blocked away by Quick.
He was our MVP throughout the season, definitely our MVP during the playoffs.
He's doing everything that you could ask of any goalie at any time. You know, his play was nothing short of amazing.
The countdown is on. 3, 2, 1. It's over. The Los Angeles Kings are the 2012 Stanley Cup champions.
Let's go down to center ice for the presentation of the MVP.
Of the Conn Smythe Trophy is Jonathan Quick.
Jonathan Quick wins the Conn Smythe Trophy. MVP.
Quickie, you know, had a great year, and winning the Conn Smythe was a great way to signify that, as well as the cup was.
But here's Perron with a chance, and Quick has it in the glove.
He definitely deserved it. He deserved it for his regular season to get us in the playoffs, basically. And then what he did in the playoffs was spectacular.
I don't even know why they had to announce it. I think it was pretty. Everyone on our team, I mean, I think everyone in the hockey world knew who was getting it.
It's somebody came over early, I forget who, and they told me they were going to hand it out soon, and they told me that I was going to win it, so I had to, be prepared to go up there. To be honest, you could have picked anyone out, made a case for anyone on the roster.
It was awesome to see him get that trophy and after all his hard work.
Guys were really happy for Quickie, and Quickie, picks it up, takes a quick picture, sets it down, and he's just like the rest of us. At that point, I'm sure it's nice for him to win the Conn Smythe, but at that point, he's looking for one trophy only.
That's cool and all, but there's obviously the next trophy that they brought out was the one that everyone's working for.
He's never looking to get the spotlight or all the credit. In a lot of situations, he's the only one who deserves it. So that's the type of guy you want to play in front of him for.
You don't trip and fall into the Conn Smythe. That's years of hard work and dedication and sacrifice going into that. And so to be able to see him hoist that, that's truly special when you see somebody that you care deeply about achieving their dreams.
After 45 years, the Kings can wear their crown. Score!
The Los Angeles Kings are indeed the kings of the National Hockey League.
Stanley Cup moments, presented by McDonald's.
The Los Angeles Kings are the 2012 Stanley Cup champions.
After we'd won it, you do all the interviews on the ice. You see friends, family, wives, girlfriends, children. You enjoy that moment. That's something you do for 30, 45 minutes, and then everybody piles off the ice and into the room where it's, there's plastic paper over the stalls and hundreds of bottles of champagne and beer. That's when you get to really celebrate.
Walking back in the dressing room, knowing you've just won the Stanley Cup, and there's champagne everywhere and beer everywhere, and some of the guys are just sitting in their stalls, just taking it all in, soaking it all in. And I remember sitting down, with me and Greener and a couple other guys, just sitting in our stalls right beside each other, just kind of watching everything and then just dreaming, pretty much, dreaming of what's happened.
It's surreal, and that's probably the best part, where you have everybody close to you and you can share with your teammates too. That's the best part. You walk into the locker room and you see everybody go crazy and champagne's flying and spraying everywhere. So definitely fun times.
You let your guard down a little bit more in there too than you can on the ice, because it's our room. So it was fun. It was awesome. Champagne was flying everywhere. It was just, like I said, it's kind of surreal.
It's just like one of those still pictures in your head that you come in and there's champagne in the air and you see the cup and guys are drinking out of it and enjoying it with their families, and it's something that doesn't happen every day, doesn't happen to every player, and you're thankful that you had the opportunity.
To get everybody in there to have a drink out of the cup, and I remember taking a sip out of it and almost breaking my tooth in the process.
Getting that opportunity to get your first sip out of the Stanley Cup is pretty cool, right? So sitting there in the room, having some champagne out of the cup. Luckily enough that family was in the room and friends to kind of experience that and see that with you.
My parents were in there. You can spray your mom in the face, dump a bottle on her head, on my brother's head. It was really cool. I mean, anything went and everyone was just having a great time. I don't know what the bill and how many champagne bottles went through, but it was pretty crazy.
It's pretty exciting. I mean, your emotions are just overflowing with excitement. And, probably one thing you don't expect is how bad it burns your eyes.
That's the first time I'd been hit in the face with champagne, and I couldn't open my eyes. And the players, I don't even know who they were, came over with the cup and said, "Bob, you got to have a drink out of the cup." Well, I couldn't even see the cup. They tipped it up, and I got a little champagne in my mouth, and the rest of it went right down the front of my suit, tie, and shirt. But what a great, great feeling. Great feeling.
Yeah, once you win, I mean, you obviously win it for yourself, but the people you win it for are your teammates, especially, your family, your friends, everyone who's been cheering you on and had an impact on your career, that's kind of the pinnacle of achievement. And when you're able to do that and celebrate it with the people you love the most and your teammates, it's something really special, and that's the day we'll never forget.
And then we asked people to leave so we could just be the guys that have been in that room by themselves for the whole year. And all the players that have been on the team, not just the guys that played that night.
You know, you close down your players only with a couple of staff guys, and you know, just be able to share it, because you know, some of the guys have been here, you know, just as long as me, if not longer, and you know, to be able to, you know, drink out of the cup and take pictures with it, and especially in the room where everything starts pretty much, it's special.
It was unbelievable as well. Like, it was came down as the players and coaches and management were in there, and it was almost for the first time where we were just one big group there, and everybody pulled the rope the same way. Everybody worked hard, had their piece, and it was like, wow, it was just, I wish we could do that every day for about 20 hours.
You know, we were just telling stories, just having the time of our lives, really. I think if it was up to us, we would have just stayed in that room till who even knows what time the next day, and it was awesome. That feeling, there's no better party than that, to, you know, be popping bottles and in the dressing room and just hanging out with the guys. It was the best moment of, I think, the whole Cup experience for me.
I think that's my favorite part. Having a few beers, spraying champagne, and just realizing that we actually did this. It wasn't one guy, it wasn't two guys, it was everybody. And that was really special. And that's something that I think will stick with me as my favorite memory, is being in the locker room with just one of those team and coaches.
After 45 years, the Kings can wear their crown. Score!
The Los Angeles Kings are indeed the kings of the National Hockey League.
Stanley Cup moments, presented by McDonald's.
As a player, you don't know what a parade's going to be. I mean, especially if you've never won, you don't really know. And you're like, oh, it'll be cool. And then you get out there and there's that many people. It was awesome.
I was like, how many people? And we trucked up on the freeway there, and that was like a real cool moment too, because it was almost traffic on the freeway there was stopping, and it was just like everyone's honking their horn, going nuts, and got the big semi-horns coming in.
I remember driving the back route that no one was supposed to know about, and watching all the people lining up on the back route, and I'm like, how do they know this? Where'd they come from? And as we took the first turn, and we weren't even near the parade route, I turned to Kopi and Brownie and said, guys, do you realize that we didn't tell anybody how we were going to get here, and they figured it out? And there are 5,000 people that aren't even supposed to be here that figured out this is where we're coming through.
And here's again another aerial look. There are thousands upon thousands of fans already lining Figueroa.
I was on the first bus there with Louis, Stoley, and Justin Williams, and so we kind of got the full. We didn't know. We kind of got the first brush of it, and those fans are going crazy. To see all that support was pretty special. I mean, I'll tell you what, that picked us up and really showed us the passion that LA Kings fans have for us. God, that was cool. Yeah, super cool.
We turned the corner and it was just swarms of people, 10, 20 deep, cheering. You could see how much it meant to the community, how many great Kings fans there are, and how that made us feel. Like we all won something together.
It's the coolest day of my life. Other than yesterday, which was awesome.
It's really special, be here in LA right now doing the parade with, I don't know how many people here, but a lot of people, so it's fun. It's really fun.
All of a sudden you hit down the main strip there, and all of a sudden everyone's there, and it was really cool. And you're trying to take it all in, and it's tough because there's so many people in so many different places, and it's like you're looking here, waving at these people, giving the number one, you're looking over there, and next thing you know, you're like looking up there, and there's people up in the top of the buildings, and it's just like, oh, sorry, oh, right there up there.
Oh, there you go, yeah. It's a nice spot, I'll take that. Hey, you gotta give it to those guys up there. I got you.
You know, we pulled off the highway there, we pulled back on a Fig, and just to see all the people, you know, in their Kings stuff and you know, blow up Stanley Cup trophies and just having a good time and sharing the moment with us was a lot of fun.
Again, I talk about the fans a lot, and it's just another example of how awesome our Kings fans are. And that was probably one of the really cool things about winning. That's something I think a lot of players will remember.
That was an awesome day. We had so much fun. It was a long day for all of us. We hadn't had much sleep until that point, and but you see all of our fans out there and how excited they are lining the streets of downtown Los Angeles, and being on top of the floats, and just I remember taking so many videos and pictures and trying to soak it all in. I would love to relive that day over and over again.
Get that thing back up there. Get it up there.
They got break time to watch this.
It was just a fun day. Everyone was having fun, and you know, it was all that hard work, you know, just paid off, and guys were just goofing around and enjoying the parade, enjoying the rally with the fans.
Frazier had been through this before, and I remember talking to him afterwards going, man, I thought Chicago was big. This was unbelievable. But all the players were in awe of the people.
Awesome. This is the coolest part. This is the coolest part right here to see all the people come out.
That last corner that we turned and pulled right in the middle of you know, Staples Center at that LA Live, and there was tons and tons of people there, and you just look around, it's just overwhelming, really. You know, everybody's come to see that you know, pretty big shiny thing, and you know, we were able to hold it there and you know, kind of show it off to all the fans, so that was pretty cool.
Awesome. Well, Greener wrap it up here. This guy's a beauty. This should be good.
My name's Matt Green. I'm with the Los Angeles Kings. I just want to say thanks a lot, guys, for everything, for believing in us, for coming out here, for supporting us. And this championship is for you guys too. I mean, that's it. This is a hockey town. You guys have been unbelievable for us. This is awesome. This is the best day of my life. I really appreciate everything, and I think I'm speaking for all the guys on the team here. Where we love you guys. We couldn't do this without you guys. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
You guys are unbelievable. You know what, there's probably enough talking, so I got one thing we're going to do here.
There's a bunch, and I've said this before, but another unique feeling you don't get unless you win it. You really get to put a date and a bunch of different images to that feeling. You know, being on those, you know, those buses, the fanfare, the music, the confetti, the streamers, all the signs, and it was such a great day. It was a great way to cap off our Stanley Cup run in victory.
After 45 years, the Kings can wear their crown. Score!
The Los Angeles Kings are indeed the Kings of the National Hockey League.
Stanley Cup moments, presented by McDonald's.
Starting the series in St. Louis, the Kings were able to get a lead, hold on to the lead, and win game number one.
Matt Green, and with 14.2 seconds left. Dustin Penner has put the lid on game one.
Coming into the series, we knew those games, would be very, very tight games.
We have confidence now because, we were able to beat Vancouver and, able to get a big win on the road in game one, and we kind of carried that momentum.
You go into game two.
We came out and Mike Richards threw a big hit. Next thing you know, he scores the first goal right off the bat.
Behind the net, gets up, looks for the puck, but the Kings are on it, driving to the net, loose puck, scores! Mike Richards, 31 seconds in. Here's Penner, and we've got a penalty.
We had been having a lot of success on the penalty kill.
Shorthanded goals had already become a theme for the Kings way back in the Vancouver series. And then you get a play where the puck's chased down.
Now a pass by Koliakovo, broken up, Brown with it.
It was on the PK, and the puck came maybe to the top of their circles. I think it was Koliakovo got it.
Brownie was able to break a play up down low on the kill.
Just remember the puck getting turned over a little bit.
I saw a turnover, and I was on the bench, and you could kind of see it happening, so everyone kind of got up a little bit.
Tried to, pass the puck by me. I just kind of knocked the puck down and kind of went to the far side of the ice.
He was able to knock the puck down out of midair.
I think he just picked off a pass, and once you pick up a pass and you're shorthanded, it's go time.
I remember going to get it thinking there's not going to be much here. It's PK. And I just took a glance over my shoulder and I saw Kopi was beating everyone else up on the ice. They were kind of stretching out, banking on that pass, getting by me.
And I was, on the bench watching that happen, but Brownie came up the ice and kind of turned it over, got to Kopi.
I was actually on the ice, kind of just following up the play. Brownie made a great pass to Kopi.
I saw the little gap and the opportunity to jump ahead, and I took the chance, and Brownie put it right on my tape.
Kopitar ends up with it in front, and the point he gets it, I'm thinking to myself, okay, can he make the move quickly enough?
I just said, man, not again. We get another shorthanded goal.
But I just remember watching it from behind, and I was like, uh-oh. Then next thing you know, he makes an unbelievable move.
Kopi made a crazy move on him.
Now a pass by Koliakovo, broken up. Brown with it. Brown centers in front. Kopitar in on goal. Shot, score!
I remember the word I used, and that was sick. Andrei Kopitar made about 5 moves in a second and a half. Reached around the goaltender, so he used everything he had. He used his hands, he used his quickness, but he used his size too. Was a big factor on that one. And then it's executed at elite skill level. I don't think you can ask for anything more.
Kopi did what Kopi does and just makes unbelievable plays. And I remember watching that goal a couple times and just don't know how he stopped one on a dime and then kind of feathered it in the side corner.
The move he did, fake backhand that went forehand, it was a pretty cool move. It was, it takes a high-end skill level to be able to pull something off like that, and he certainly has it.
It's almost like a big relief because you're down there and you're a man short, and you just want to make the most out of the opportunity.
It's a huge lift anytime you can get a shorthanded goal, but one as pretty as that. I think St. Louis saw that our best players were playing their best. We see him every day, so we're pretty fortunate, but I think just people around the league getting to see just how skilled he is, and a big guy like that be able to pull off some pretty sweet moves like that with his hands, and his vision is pretty special.
This is when it kind of, the light turned on for me. I looked over at my partner, Darryl Evans, and I don't think we said anything, but we both looked, and we could almost read each other's minds. Boy, this team is playing pretty darn well. This could be something, this could last a while. This could be a special run.
Kopi in particular, man, he was phenomenal that series. Shorthanded goals, that was pretty amazing.
That's one of those goals where you look back in playoff history and you look at some of Mario Lemieux's goals and scoring in the final. Then you look at Kopi's goal, you go, wow, man, there's only a few guys in the world that can make that move, and I'll never forget that. It was incredible.
For me, that was when I became a believer that the Kings were a team that was on top of it, that could possibly go to the Final Four and maybe a little bit deeper.
You know, that goal there, it's, you know, but take your pick with that guy. I mean, you know, there's been a lot of moments like that sometimes you take for granted, but that one was really special. But again, it wasn't just what you see with these guys making plays like that, it's when they're making them. And, you know, that's a big moment.
After 45 years, the Kings can wear their crown. Score!
The Los Angeles Kings are indeed the kings of the National Hockey League.
Stanley Cup moments, presented by McDonald's.
And now 34 seconds to go. This is for you, Kings fans, wherever you may be.
10 seconds left. Puck behind the Kings net, centered by Parisi. The long wait is over.
The countdown is on. 3, 2, 1. It's over.
When you talk about hockey in Los Angeles, you talk about Bob Miller in the same sentence.
As soon as he opens his mouth and you hear that voice, that's Bob Miller, and that's the LA Kings. That's what it's all about.
Doughty shoots, score!
He's seen it all. He's seen it all except for that Stanley Cup.
Richards comes in, gives it to Brown. Brown shoots, he scores! His second goal!
The biggest thing when I retired is I realized how important he made every one of my goals or assists, you know, like sound. You know, it's amazing. If it wasn't for that, you know, you wouldn't hear anything. It wouldn't be that meaningful.
Martinez dumps it in himself and chases it down.
One thing I can say about the job I'm able to work at is that every single night I have the best seat in the house because I'm watching the game, but I get to hear Bob Miller in my ear every night. It's right there.
Kings with a 5-goal lead. Here now is Tallinder.
I started out with the Kings doing games for 9 years on the simulcast, TV and radio with Bob. So I thought it was great that they were able to document the Kings winning the Stanley Cup as well, to have it for the fans in the future to listen to.
Through this series and the finals, I know I had been thinking about what am I going to say when it finally happens. And so I wrote a few things down, and I had them written down that night just so that I didn't want to sound like I'm reading it, but I didn't want to stumble and fumble in the excitement of the moment.
I thought he would have something prepared, and I was right. I didn't know what he was going to say. But just knowing Bob, I know he's so well prepared. I know he's going to have something. I know he wants to capture the moment, which in all honesty, I don't think anyone does it better than Bob. His energy is always appropriate. It's never too high, it's never too low. It's always exactly like it should be.
And back to the right point. Green scores! Matt Green from the right point. And you can start celebrating.
Right after the Trevor Lewis goal, the Kings dump it in. Feed it out to Matt Green, and his wrist shot beats Martin Brodeur.
People were asking me, do you know what you're going to say? A lot of them were saying when, not if, but when the Kings win the Stanley Cup. And I always gave them the same answer. They say, what are you going to say? Do you know what you're going to say? I says, yeah, well, I've been working on it for 31 years.
Doughty sends it around, held in. Andy Green a shot, kicked out by Quick. 10 seconds left.
Two things came to my mind. One was what I learned years ago when I started my broadcasting career, and that was the game is all about the players. So I took that to heart, and then I said, you know what, I want to keep it short because I don't want it to kind of detract from the overall atmosphere.
10 seconds left. Puck behind the Kings net, centered by Parisi.
And it was great for Bob, too, because he had something planned he wanted to say. And you know what? Bob was able to set the table.
And now 34 seconds to go.
And the clock is running down, and I got it in as I said, this is for you, Kings fans, wherever you may be.
All the frustration and disappointment of the past is gone. The 45-year drought is over. The Los Angeles Kings are indeed the kings of the National Hockey League. They are the 2012 Stanley Cup champions.
The long wait is over. After 45 years,
the Kings can wear their crown. The Los Angeles Kings have won the Stanley Cup.
I paused for like 10 seconds after I said it. When I said have won the Stanley Cup, the buzzer sounded, and the horn lasted longer than it's ever lasted before. I was just thinking back what a wonderful ride it has been and how happy I was that I could be part of it, a small part of it, and how happy I was that the fans were here, the Kings were able to do it on home ice.
I'd worked over 1,000 games with Nick, and just listening to him to make that call, I could sense the emotion in his voice, and also just how proud he was to be able to make that call. And it was great to listen to, and I listened to it for a number of days after that on all the different radio stations and that, and never get sick of hearing it.
Jimmy told me before, he said, if they win, I'm going to be crying. I'm a crier. I'm going to cry. Now, at one point, I look over at Jim, and he's got tears in his eyes, and I'm thinking, now he's going to get me doing this. But I held it together, and I didn't. I got through it.
Commissioner Gary Bettman with Dustin Brown, and now Dustin Brown hoisting the cup.
I just took it all in. Again, listening to Nick, make the announcement, and then listening to the fans and the emotion that was involved in the building. It was as if time stood still there for a second, and it's a feeling that I'll never forget.
For Bob, it was starting to get to the point where, I'm going to retire here, and then they're going to win the cup. Or, I'm going to retire, and it's just not going to happen.
We're kind of like the senior members of the whole organization. We've seen the highs and the lows. To be this close and know it's going to happen, it's a feeling that really I don't think you can describe. But when that buzzer finally sounded, boy, that felt great.
I wondered for days before that Game 6, if and when the Kings do win it, what is it going to feel like? What am I going to feel like?
Trevor Lewis, 3:45 to go.
For 2 days afterwards, my wife and I would wake up in the morning and say, did that really happen? Did we see that? I get more emotional now talking about those moments than I did then. Finally, the Kings are Stanley Cup champions.